In this video, we'll show you how to use your Outlook alongside Capsule. Our dedicated Outlook add-in allows you to easily add contacts to Capsule, store and track email conversations, and create new cases and sales opportunities, all without leaving your mailbox. Here we'll take a look at the benefits of setting up this integration and provide a step-by-step guide. Taking advantage of our add-in can save you precious time and will keep all your important communication centralized within Capsule. Once you start tracking a conversation from Outlook, the add-in will keep storing all future messages within the conversation. It's a really great way to centralize your emails and ensure that the full history of your relationships are tracked within your CRM. Let's take a step-by-step look at how to install. The Outlook add-in is available on Windows, Mac, and in the browser. Here we're going to look at setting this up from the browser version. However, don't worry if you use the desktop version of Outlook. It's a simple setup process, instructions for which can be found on our dedicated support doc. It's also important to note that whilst any Outlook user can install the add-in, the ability to store emails using our add-in will only be available to Outlook users whose email is hosted with Microsoft 365. Now open your Outlook and navigate to an email in your inbox. Click here on the three dots for more actions, and then click the Get Add-ins option and search for Capsule. Once you've located the Capsule for Outlook add-in, simply click on the Add button. You'll be asked to agree to the terms and conditions. Once you're happy with this information, click Continue. With the Outlook add-in installed, you'll now need to connect your Capsule account. When viewing an email conversation, use the More Actions menu to expand the add-in. You'll then be guided through the installation process. First, you'll need to connect your Capsule account. Click the button to connect the account and follow the steps for authentication. Once you've connected your Capsule account, you'll need to click the button to grant access to Microsoft 365 and also follow the steps to accept the permissions. The steps only need to be followed once. The next time you access the add-in, these permissions will be remembered. You can now take advantage of the add-in and start connecting emails and creating records. Once you've followed the previous set of instructions, Capsule will now be available from the More Actions menu whenever you're viewing an email. You can use the pin button located here if you'd like to ensure that Capsule stays open every time you view an email. If you want to ensure that the Capsule add-in is easily accessible, you can add it to the message surface by completing the following steps. First, click here on the Settings cog. On the Settings panel, click View All Outlook Settings. This will then open a new modal where the next step is to click the Customize Actions option. On the Customize Actions screen, you'll have different checkbox options. Ensure that Capsule is selected. You'll now be able to access the add-in even quicker, and this will help ensure you don't forget how to locate this handy feature. Now that we're up and running, we'll take a look at how this feature will help you in your day-to-day activities. The add-in will appear in the sidebar, just to the right of your inbox, whenever you've opened an email thread. At Capsule, we refer to these threads as conversations. A conversation can be between an existing contact or a new contact. If the contact already exists, you'll see the details that are currently recorded within Capsule, and you can start storing the conversation. If the contact doesn't exist, it's a great time saver to create the record from the add-in. Clicking on a new contact will bring you to the Add Contact page. Here you'll find three different options. Add as a person will allow you to create a new record for an individual. Here you can add all the key contact details. Clicking Save and Store Conversation will create the new contact, and the conversation will also now be stored in one step. Add as an organization will provide you with the form for creating a new organization level record. Again, you can choose to create a new record and store the conversation in one go. Find in Capsule lets you search for the contact record within Capsule. This can be really useful if an existing contact has emailed you from a new email address. With this option, you can match a contact and store the conversation against their existing profile. Let's now look at storing conversations in greater detail. When you've chosen to store a conversation in Capsule, any replies you send or receive from the contact will automatically be stored within the CRM. To store on the contact level, simply click on the conversation that you'd like to store. Use the Store On option. You'll then see a note to indicate that the email has been successfully stored. All replies within this conversation will now automatically be added to Capsule. The add-in doesn't automatically store all emails in your mailbox, meaning you have full control over what's added and what isn't. You also have the option to store an email directly on a sales opportunity or a case. This is a great way to centralize the communication that you might be having with customers relating to new business opportunities and customer deliverables. To store on the opportunity or case, use the arrow next to the Store Conversation button, and then choose the option to store on an opportunity or case. You'll see a list of all existing records linked to the contact. You can then pick the relevant opportunity or case to store the conversation. If I click here, all future emails in this conversation will now also be stored on the opportunity along with the contact record. If you're looking to create a new sales opportunity or a new case to work on, you can also do this with the Add option. Similar to creating a new contact, you also have the ability to create a new opportunity or case. A new email can serve as a trigger for new business or can point towards a piece of work that would be better managed within a case. If we click here on Add Opportunity, we can now fill in the opportunity details. Once we're happy with the information we've added, we can click Save and create a new record. The same process applies to adding a new case. A case is a great feature for helping centralize the work relating to marketing, post-sales management, and even support. We recommend having a look at our dedicated Cases video for further detail on how to take advantage of this versatile feature. Now don't worry if you started a conversation with someone, but want to later stop it being added to Capsule. You can also use the add-in to stop emails in a thread from being stored. To action this, click here on the row that displays the store status. Then click the option to disable storing. This will now prevent any future emails within the conversation being stored. It can be really handy if the thread may have gone off topic. That, in a nutshell, is how you can set up the Outlook add-in and take advantage of the useful features. Completing the setup is a great way to improve efficiency and ensure you have a clear connection between your mailbox and Capsule. We recommend that the various users within your business set this up, as it will only promote collaboration and ensure that there is clear visibility on the communication that's being had day to day. If you're a user of our Teams or Enterprise plan, you can still ensure that specific users do not have access to email conversations by restricting access to records on your account. We have a dedicated section in our video library, which dives into more detail on our team-specific features. The Capsule Outlook add-in is just one part of our suite of Microsoft integrations available. We recommend that you take a look at our Outlook calendar integration and single sign-on via Microsoft 365. If you need any more advice on the topics covered in this video, please head over to our support pages for more articles relating to Capsule, or contact our friendly support team, and we'll gladly help you out.